I'm Michaela Kathleen, and I'm here today with a mid-year book haul. I've been doing a little bit better at slowing down on my book buying, and I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of only having to do a book haul like halfway through the year for the first half of the year, and then of course a couple of book hauls at the end of the year for like Christmas, and like if I get gift cards I might do a second book haul for the gift cards. But yeah, other than like Christmas time haul and mid-year haul, I'm trying to not have to do other hauls. So I've gotten 8 new books in the first half of this year, which I think is pretty good for a half of a year. So jumping right in, the first book that I got this year that wasn't something from Christmas was My Lady Jane by, they call themselves the Lady Janies, but the 3 authors are Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I've been wanting to start this series for a long time. Each book follows a different historical Jane. So this is a historical Jane who marries a king of England, but they've also got one about Calamity Jane and Jane Eyre, and they've actually now started a new series about different historical Marys, like Mary Queen of Scots. But for each one, they throw in a fantastical element into the story. I'm pretty sure there's one where the main character can turn into a mouse. I'm not sure if that's this one or not. But regardless, they just have such fun, cool covers, and I like the historical element, and I like the idea of doing a bunch of books about historical figures who share the same name. So I'm really excited for this one. Obviously, it's pretty far down on my TBR, but I at least know now that I will get to it someday because it is on the TBR, and that is half the battle. And I got this one from half-priced books. I sold a few books, and with the money that I got from those, this is what I picked out. Next, I have The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katerina Bivald, which I'd never heard of this one. I picked this one up from a free little library, but the concept just sounded so fun. It is about a woman from Sweden who has a pen pal relationship with a woman in Iowa, in America, and she decides to travel to Iowa to meet her pen pal in real life, only to find that, which this is all on the back cover, so it's not spoilers, only to find that her pen pal has passed away. And so she ends up attending this woman's funeral instead of getting to meet her, which sounds very sad, but I think it's actually a much more lighthearted book than that. These 2 pen pals bonded over their love of reading, and the woman from Sweden, it sounds like, kind of takes over her pen pal's bookshop now that her pen pal has passed away. Or maybe she starts her own bookshop, not quite sure. But regardless, it sounds like it's her making these great connections with the people in the small town that she has found herself in. So one I had never heard of, but one that I am very excited for. After that, I got some gift cards from Barnes & Noble for my birthday. And so I continued my mission of acquiring Fredrik Backman books, and I finally successfully got Britt Marie Was Here. The first Fredrik Backman book I ever read was A Man Called Ove, which I got just from like a library lending wall with no expectations and ended up absolutely loving it. So I have been working my way through reading one Fredrik Backman book per year since then, and the one that I most wanted to read after Ove was Britt Marie because they seem like they have a very similar tone, similar main character. But whenever I would go to Barnes & Noble to pick it up using a gift card, they would not have Britt Marie. So I've ended up reading My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry and Beartown before I finally am now getting to Britt Marie. And also with that same Barnes & Noble gift card from my birthday, I picked up Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This was kind of a situation where I couldn't find anything else that I was really wanting, and I was actually honestly getting kind of frustrated and just was getting to the point where I wanted to leave and go home. And so I just picked up Carry On because I was like, even though this isn't one, this is one where like I like Fangirl, which is what this is kind of a spin-off of, but they're very different books. This is fantasy, Fangirl is contemporary, and so I've never been really sure if I want to give these a try or not, but I did recently pick out a couple of like different authors that I want to try to read everything they've written, and for that I also have Rainbow on the list, so I am finally going to actually give Carry On a try, even though I don't know if I'll really enjoy it or not. I do generally enjoy Rainbow Rowell's writing. Fangirl is 5 stars for me. Attachment is 5 stars. Eleanor and Park and Landline are okay. I enjoyed them well enough. But I've never read a fantasy by Rainbow Rowell, so it'll be interesting to see how I like it. After that, I got another book from a Free Little Library. It is in pretty rough shape. A few of the books on this haul are in pretty rough shape, which makes me a little bit sad, but they're free books, so I can't complain too much. But this one was Daughters of War by Dinah Jeffries. This is a World War II novel, which is why I picked it up. World War II novels are kind of automatic pickups for me in general, and this one follows 3 sisters in France. After that, I finally got The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I have been waiting for this one to come out in paperback because I just didn't want to pay for a hardcover on this one. I have listened to the entire podcast, so I do already know most of the contents of this book, but I did still think it would be nice to have a physical copy. Plus there is some extra stuff in here that's not in the podcast. So yes, was glad to finally have it in paperback, and I am actually planning on reading it sometime this month. And then after that, I got 2 more books from a Free Little Library, and they are in the roughest shape of any books I have ever owned. But they both were really intriguing, so I didn't want to pass them up just because they were in rough shape. The first one of those is Lucky, which is a memoir from the author of The Lovely Bones. And then after that, I picked up another World War II novel, and that is An Elephant in the Garden by Michael Morpurgo. And this one just sounds fantastic. It's loosely based on a true story, again, World War II, and in the story, a zookeeper convinces the zoo director to let her take home one of the baby elephants and keep it in her garden during the war to keep it safe, because the elephant has a strong bond with her children, apparently. But then they are forced to flee, and they have to figure out how to take this baby elephant with them. This one is a children's book, so it's a lighter look at a World War II story. I really enjoyed the movie The Zookeeper's Wife that came out maybe like 10 years ago, and this seems to be in that same vein of like a heavy but also heartwarming animal story from World War II. So yeah, those are the 8 books that I've gotten so far this year in the first half of the year. Let me know down below if you've gotten any exciting books so far this year. And now on to the quote for today's video, which today I actually have one from John Green from Looking for Alaska. And it goes, "You've got a lifetime to mull over the Buddhist understanding of interconnectedness. But while you were looking out the window, you missed the chance to explore the equally interesting Buddhist belief in being present for every facet of your daily life, of being truly present. Be present in this class, and then, when it's over, be present out there." Thanks for watching. Remember, words matter.